Hey Siri, pause the battery.
That's done.
I've seen quite a few people asking if you can control a GivEnergy battery using Apple HomeKit, and the answer is yes, sort of. So keep watching and I'll tell you how you can achieve this and also go over a few of the current limitations. So controlling a GivEnergy inverter using Apple HomeKit is entirely possible. That means using the Home app on your iPhone or iPad and even being able to ask Siri too. Now, this isn't going to be an exact how-to guide because you may have different ideas as to what you want to be able to control here. What I'm going to do instead is show you what I've configured and I'll try to show you how I configured it too. So please be aware that this isn't for beginners and it will assume that you've already got a bit of experience with Home Assistant. Yes, Home Assistant. Because if you haven't guessed it yet, then you will need Home Assistant up and running somewhere in order to act as a bridge between HomeKit and GivEnergy. So, step 1, make sure you have Home Assistant already running nicely, and there are many guides out there already showing you what Home Assistant is and how to configure it. Step 2 then, you'll need to connect your Home Assistant installation to your GivEnergy inverter so as it can monitor and control it. Follow the instructions up in this video to install the GIV-TCP add-on. Obviously don't click on that picture though, because that's just an image I've put in the video, so you'll probably end up pausing the video if you do that. I'll put the actual link down in the description for you, so go and have a look there. After you've got that working, step 3 is to connect Home Assistant to HomeKit. It probably won't surprise you to know that I've got another video on that there. It's almost like I might have been planning this for a while and building up to this video. Anyway, I will put a link to that in the description too. So now you should have Home Assistant talking to both your GivEnergy inverter and HomeKit. Great, but the two still can't quite talk to each other yet. This is the point at which you need to decide exactly what you want to do with HomeKit. That's because we're going to need to write an individual script for each action. Now, I have a few suggestions for things I found useful, but basically you might have better ideas. Maybe start with these and see how you go. You saw the first one right at the start of this video where I asked Siri to pause my battery. This is useful if you want to charge your car during the day and don't want to drain your home battery. There are two others which I'll show you too. One of them resumes discharge, which is the opposite of pause discharge, so it basically puts it back into eco mode, and the other is force charging the battery manually. Each of these three functions must first be created as a script in Home Assistant. These are my three here. I'll show you the pause script first. All it does is turn off a switch called Enable Discharge, which is provided to us by GIV-TCP. Then there's a 1 minute delay and a stop. The reason for the delay and the stop is so as when you activate the script, which is essentially like turning on a button, it actually stays on for a little while rather than toggling straight off immediately. If you don't add this, you might not be certain that you actually turned it on, so you can end up tapping it a few times and really screwing things up. Next, let's go and look at the resume script. This is a bit different because instead of toggling a switch, what we actually do is call a select option service to change the value of the GIV-TCP mode select item, a value of eco. Note the capital E in eco. We then have the same 1 minute wait and stop as the first script to force a delay in the script finishing. Finally, there's the force charge script. Now, unfortunately, due to a limitation in how HomeKit works, we can't pass parameters in. So, for example, I can't say, hey Siri, force charge the battery for 15 minutes or 30 minutes, and then use some script to process the value I said and set the charge time dynamically. Sadly, we must hard code the charge time manually, and for this example, I've set it to 15 minutes. I don't actually use this one myself. I've created it purely as an example for you. All we're doing here is setting the select option of the force charge to 15. Now the values you can pass it are very specific, so if in doubt, go and take a look at the force charge entity itself and see which values you can use. Once you've created your scripts and tested them, you'll need to tell HomeKit about them. For each of the three scripts, click on the three dots next to it and view the information. You go to this little cog here and you need to make a note of this entity ID right here. Now over in File Editor, find your HomeKit configuration. You'll need to revisit the HomeKit video if you can't remember where that is. In your Include Entities section, you'll need to add a line for each of the scripts that you've created. So if I scroll down to the bottom, you'll see my 3 GivEnergy scripts here at the bottom of the list. Save the file and then head over to Developer Tools, double check your configuration's okay, and scroll down to HomeKit in this list and click on HomeKit to reload all that configuration. All being well, those scripts should now be presented in your Apple Home app as switches. I'll switch over to my iPad now and show you that side of things. I've created a room in Home called GivEnergy just to keep these GivEnergy devices organised and separate. I've renamed them from the names that they inherited from Home Assistant because they were too long to be readable. So as you can see, I now have GE Force Charge, GE Pause and GE Resume switches. So I can toggle them from here if I want, and if you don't care about Siri then you're done, but obviously it's a lot more fun shouting at Siri to control these. By default, I should now be able to say something like, "Hey Siri, turn on GE Pause," and that's not very elegant, so to improve on this we must use Siri shortcuts.
Okay, the GE Pause is on.
And it's gone and turned it on for me. Okay, I better resume it quick. Over in the Shortcuts app, I've created a shortcut for each of those switches. Let's look at one of them, the Pause the Battery one. Inside there is just a single action. If I type Home into this search bar here, you'll see that there is a Control My Home option, and that's basically what I added, but with the GE Pause switch as the entity to be used. If I edit this, you'll see that the action for the accessory is to turn on. Then I've made sure that the name of the shortcut itself is exactly what I want to say to Siri to be able to do it. So in this case, I'd have to say pause the battery. Back to the list of shortcuts, you'll see that I've done that for all 3 switches in the Home app. And with that, you should be all good to go to control any aspect of your GivEnergy inverter from HomeKit, and with a bit more effort, Siri. I hope you found this useful, and if you did, then please give this video a like. If you've come up with any novel and interesting uses for controlling GivEnergy with HomeKit, then please share your ideas in the comments. I'd love to see them, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel to see more from me. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.